Communicate your feelings through punching and screaming. This is Bizarre Podcast Dogs Must Die. My name is Grant. You can call him Chip, and we are finishing discussing the episodes of Part 2, Battle Tendency today.
Yeah, we've only got two left, episodes 25 and 26.
So this will be a quick one, sure.
Sure, probably.
We begin with a cold open of just repeating our previous episode's cliffhanger, which means Stroheim just screaming.
Yes, right away. It's fun because it's shot for shot the exact same thing, but they've replaced the music from the ending of the last episode that was really good for like building up to a cliffhanger, and they've just replaced it now with the Pillar Man rap theme, which makes it way funnier to hear the backup vocals going, "What? What?" Well, Stroheim's just like, "Oh no, oh god, I didn't mean to shoot him with UV. Uh-oh, I fucked up bad. I'm so sorry."
This whole opening is Stroheim just denying responsibility. He's starting to sound like he's in the room. I did not hit her. I did not see him with the Super Asia.
Yeah, Cars has unlocked the galaxy brain.
Mm-hmm.
He gets up off the ground. He pulls himself off the spikes and stuff.
The stone mask has splintered into many, many pieces. The Super Asia has fallen to the ground beside him. He's gonna wish, I know it, as soon as it happened, he's gonna wish he did not litter. That is going to come back to get him.
Yeah. And right after this, like the opening starts, and I want to point out, because I don't think I pointed it out when it happened with part 1. When JoJo part is like reaching its end, it will add sound effects to the opening.
Yeah, I noticed that this time. You hear the clacker balls clack.
Yeah.
There's a lot of whooshing.
Yes.
And there's a shing as light goes over the Super Asia at the end.
Yeah. Yeah, every time you reach like the climax of a part of JoJo in the anime, they always dub in sound effects to the theme song to like make it more intense. I've never seen any other show do that, I think, and I like it.
So we're back in the action. Everybody's reacting to the birth of this super being. Stroheim says that he has become the Ubermensch.
Yes.
Which, of course, he's relating it to his own ideology, his own outlook. The Ubermensch is a Nietzschean ideal that was taken, perhaps perverted by Nazi ideology, depending on how much faith you want to give Nietzsche. He was never one for German nationalism, but boy, his ideas sure fit in real easy.
Yeah.
But in the Nazi ideal, not the original philosophical ideal about a superior person who comes in and can be a source of new values for society. No, the Nazi Übermensch is the eugenic ideal of the perfectly bred man. This having an ironic twist is pretty common in fiction. I think one of the best examples, honestly, is Khan from Star Trek.
Yeah.
The perfect eugenic sample is real, and he's Southeast Asian, so screw you, Nazis.
Yeah.
So he's going to be played by Ricardo Montalban and fucking Benedict Cumberbatch for some reason.
God damn it. Real quick, I saw that second Star Trek reboot movie.
It's
in
bad.
Theaters because my dad really likes Star Trek, and I have enjoyed a lot of Star Trek in the past as well. And god damn, that movie sucks.
That movie sucks.
Even my dad, who is somebody who probably consumes quite a lot of movies without critically thinking about them much at all, when we finished that, my dad was like, when we were coming out of theater, my dad said, like, I don't really like it when they said Khan again. It just felt like they're like, that was just pandering. And I was just like, that's the word that you never say things like that, Dad. This must be pretty bad.
You know what movie's great though?
What?
Star Trek Beyond, the third remake movie.
Oh, is that one good? It's because
I love that movie.
When I saw the first Star Trek movie, the reboots, that was like, I don't know, fucking 2008, 2009. I think I was barely in college at that point. And I ended up seeing that movie like 3 times at theaters for some fucking reason. But I enjoyed it at the time. I haven't seen it since. I don't think I would really like it that much now. But because of that second movie, I just never checked the third one out. It's actually good? Is it like is it more of a Star Trek thing than just being a sci-fi action movie, or is it still bad?
Oh, it's a great sci-fi action movie.
Okay.
I will say that. And you know, every character gets to participate and has strong moments. It's one of those great action movies that remembers that every action scene is improved by use of interesting and shifting terrain, and every action scene should propel the plot, should unravel more of the mystery. It nails those fundamentals and has a really strong respect for the characters, both as they were in the 60s and as they are with this current cast in the 2000s. In part because it's written by Simon Pegg. So, like, yeah, he knows.
Oh, shit, really?
Yeah. He's in that cast. He knows.
Yeah. I'm going to have to check that out sometime then. Shit.
But anyway, JoJo time.
JoJo time.
This is where my notes become incomprehensible. Because this is where what happens becomes incomprehensible.
Yeah. Okay, so
it's all things I've written down. What do I even say? What can anyone say?
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, I've been like the whole time we started this podcast, I was just like, all right, you know, it's gonna be fun going through, you know, these episodes. There's a lot of crazy moments or memorable things that happen. But
it took me 75 minutes to watch this 22-minute episode. I had to get up and take a walk.
I was waiting for these 2 episodes to see your reaction to this, because okay, so Cars has gotten up. Everyone's freaking out that he's the ultimate being. Cars looks at his arm that was struck by JoJo in the fight the previous episode, and it's still melting. It's still got the glowy orange hormone-inflicted wounds on him.
Stroheim takes this as a sign that he, for all his talk, he's not truly invincible. They will have victory this day.
Yeah.
It's been 2 minutes. Half of that was the OP, and he's had 3 mood swings.
Yeah. Yeah, it's they determined, like, okay, he still must have his weakness to hormone and sunlight, so wheel out the big UV light again. Let's blast him a second time. And as they're wheeling the gun back out, or charging it up again, Cars is paying no heed to anybody. He's just observing his own body. He looks to the right. He's just staring off into the distance, and Smokey and Speedwagon narrate every single thing Cars is doing here.
Naturally, as is their purview.
Because, yeah, Cars is just staring off into the distance silently, and Smokey thinks he must be thinking about something. And there's a slow camera pan of what Cars is looking at, and he's looking at a tree that's got 2 owls on it, and then below on the ground, an adorable squirrel with eyelashes picking up an acorn and nibbling on the acorn.
I don't know how high up on Piz Bernina they are.
Yeah.
But this thing goes up to like 4 kilometers tall at the peak. I don't think there are squirrels.
Yeah, Speedwagon is mad that Cars is staring at a squirrel at a time like this. And then Smokey goes, "Look, Mr. Speedwagon, Cars' hand is changing." And Cars is looking at his right hand, and it turns into a green goo that then morphs into a squirrel.
And JoJo, totally unnecessarily, says, "Wow, I've seen a lot of strange things, but nothing like this." This is truly the moment where JoJo's Bizarre Adventure becomes JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Yes.
We've had weird adventures. We've had many strange adventures.
God. So the Cars' hand is a squirrel now, and it detaches itself from his body. It runs up
It does a little backflip.
It does a little backflip.
It does a little backflip to run up his arm and then snuggle his face. He snuggles his own face with his squirrel hand.
Yeah, he nuzzles himself with this squirrel hand. And when that happens, and Speedwagon is super freaked out and like sweating bullets and is also furious that the first thing that Cars does with his new powers is make a squirrel out of his hand.
And then the squirrel sees the real squirrel, hops over. The real squirrel has Valentine's hearts pop out of his head, and it looks like they're going to be friends. There is a full committee of Speedwagons present, and they are all at a loss.
Yeah, everyone's just staring.
Though Smokey thinks it's pretty cute.
Yeah, everyone's just staring at these two fucking squirrels. And Smokey said is like, while, he's drawn sweating bullets right now, but he says, well, look at that. I think it found a friend. And he's like glad for Cars' hand squirrel. And so, yeah, they're nuzzling heads for a second. And then
it immediately eats the real squirrel.
And right before that happens, JoJo shouts and points at the real squirrel. Hey, squirrel, get away from that thing. You don't know the guy it's made of. Watch out, squirrel, watch out. Get out of there. And yeah, then Cars'
Bizarre podcast Dogs Must Die is obsolete. There's no point to, there's no describing this. There's no explaining this.
Frog mischief, evil, I don't know. Well, where do you go? It's too many subtitles. But yeah, after JoJo shouts that warning to the real squirrel, everyone is shocked, and yeah, it hard cuts to the Cars' evil hand squirrel devouring normal squirrel.
These horrible needle teeth.
Yeah.
It's squirrel blood all over it.
Yeah, it's got terrifying needle teeth, and also it has like bug mandibles. It's got mandibles shooting out of its mouth too.
And so the squirrel, not satisfied with mere squirrel flesh, does a flying tackle into the guts of Stroheim's cyber abs and then starts spinning like a drill.
Okay, so even before that happens, another great detail is, the squirrel, like, full frame leaps super fast across the screen, and there's this really great shaky cam shot from, like, over the shoulder of Stroheim that's darting all over the place because it's having a hard time keeping track of this ultra-fast squirrel that is running like serpentines so no one can get it.
With a glowing light trail that follows it. Because it's so fast.
And as the squirrel in like half slow motion is leaping right towards Stroheim's guts, Stroheim shouts, "Squirrel incoming!"
I would rather talk about Star Trek. I know what I'm doing when I talk about Star Trek.
And since Stroheim is still a cyborg man, the squirrel completely like drills and burrows through his torso and emerges the other side, and Stroheim is just fine because those were just robot parts. But it does, while still traveling through Stroheim, fly onto another normal non-cyborg Nazi and just starts devouring his guts, and then like tears up his face like he's a power tool that somebody is running up the guy's face.
Yeah. Also, the squirrel is scored with heroic brass horns.
Yeah.
You go, heroic Antifa squirrel. You do it.
All right. Yeah, and the squirrel does it lands a perfect leap, 10 out of 10 from the judges. It leaps off this Nazi's face that it just tore up back onto Cars' wrist.
And then it turns into a big blossoming flower.
And then it turns into a big butterfly.
A gigantic butterfly, frankly. This thing's huge.
Bigger than a buff dude's hand, like, yeah.
So yeah, we've got new life, we've got metamorphosis. Okay, I follow. I don't know why the squirrel eats people. I don't know why the squirrel has to first find love.
God damn.
Like, JoJo has reached its apex as a piece of visual art. It is unable to retain meaning when separated from its medium at this point.
Yeah.
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is like graffiti or a tone poem. Describing it just can't be it anymore.
Yeah. So as Cars is just like morphing his hand into other creatures and stuff, Speedwagon is losing his mind, going, my God, Cars has complete mastery over organic life. As he says that, the sun begins to rise, and everyone breathes a sigh of relief for a second, like, okay.
Because all the vampires immediately explode.
Yeah. The entire remaining army just fucking melts. They're done for.
It seems like there were 50 or so left, at least.
Yeah.
These Speedwagon special forces were not doing too well, as it turns out.
No. But yeah, everyone's happy because they think, okay, maybe Cars is still going to melt from the sun, and he doesn't.
No, he will be the first Pillar Man to ever get a groovy tan.
Yeah, he no longer has any of the weaknesses, the vampire-style weaknesses they had before. And Cars even just like stares directly at the sun and goes like, damn, this is cool.
The first words he says in this entire episode are Alpha and Omega both. We are continuing the biblical allusions.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Yep. Again, he was just there for all that stuff. He was just out of frame. Just watching.
Although I like that when he talks to the sun as his greatest enemy, he is facing away from it because he's that badass.
Right, yeah. But yeah, Cars is talking about how he now has the power to take form of any and all life that has ever been on Earth. He can just be whatever now. We get another psychedelic background colors thing of Speedwagon just losing his mind again. That's basically what he does this entire episode, is just lose his fucking mind. Talking about
who wouldn't? I have.
Yeah, it's Speedwagon talking about how like we're all doomed. There's literally nothing left we can do. You know, he's not weak to sunlight or hormone anymore. Cars the Pillar Man is no more. He's become Cars the ultimate creation. And as he says this, Cars is doing a cute little pose again and sticking his tongue out and stuff.
Yeah, he's very cheeky nowadays. This Cars. But JoJo, he still has his confidence. He still has his poise, his cocky smirk, because he has a plan. And I say there's about a 55% chance he has a plan.
Yeah.
He's hyping up his special move, his final technique. And Smokey knows what's coming because he knows this special technique better than anybody. JoJo just beats feet. He runs as fast as he can, grabs the Super Asia as he goes, and is just going as fast as his little getaway sticks will carry him.
Yeah. So Smokey decides to, just because like, well, I did it once already, I'm just going to go fucking run alongside JoJo too. Don't know what's happening, but... And as he starts running away, Cars is just so fucking psyched in this episode. He is so happy. But he says that, like, normal people aren't anything to him now, but JoJo's a special case. He wants to avenge AC/DC and WAMU.
Yeah. They were bros. We're going to see just how close they were in probably 90 minutes of recording.
Yeah. And so to chase down JoJo, he morphs his arms into gigantic bird wings and just starts flying to chase after him.
Cars is the ultimate life form, king of all furries.
Yep, that's basically what he is now. And it's we'll see in a second, but it's not just like, oh, I can be a bird now. It's like I can just take any qualities and mix and match them to make completely new things nothing on Earth can really do.
I call this Animorphs 2.
Ooh. JoJo and Smokey are like sliding down this slope, talking, trying to figure out how to buy more time or how to like, what the fuck do we even do?
JoJo asks why Smokey is running with him right as I was writing the note. Hey, why is Smokey running with him?
Yeah. Smokey just goes with it because he did it before, I guess. But also, like, Smokey, there's no way he can help. Basically, just about nobody can help in this situation.
But also because he hates keeping secrets.
Right, yes.
And also promises. He is going to tell JoJo about his mom.
Yeah.
2 things he will not keep, a secret and a promise.
Yeah. JoJo's just telling him, like, please stop, like, running right beside me. I would feel really bad if you died because of me today. Just let me handle this. Cars only wants me. Right, I forgot about this. We get, like, a little cutaway to the narrator explaining exactly what being a perfect life form means.
Yeah, with this diagram that kind of looks like the end page of a Gunner Krieg court chapter.
Yeah.
So being a perfect being means being entirely ageless, being physically perfect, and being Beast Boy.
And being Beast Boy.
Yes.
I like... So the drawing they use in this bit is like 1-for-1 basically exactly what it is in the manga too. But I just like all of the little arrows just pointing to random bits of Cars. Look at this. According to the diagram, Cars has an IQ of 400.
Oh, nice.
So, by the way, when JoJo like ran away, because he was still holding on to unconscious Lisa, he just kind of handed her over to Speedwagon. So now anytime we're cutting over to Speedwagon losing his mind, he's also got a bloodied Lisa in his arms. JoJo and Smokey keep running, and they reach the end. Like, they just basically hit a big cliff, and only JoJo jumps off this cliff.
And it's a good thing he saw where Stroheim parked, because down below that cliff is a German military plane with like the barred cross of the Luftwaffe all over it. So good job. This plane, as far as I know, does not exist.
No.
Like, okay, obviously it's a cartoon, but I mean this model of plane, that this is not taken from from an actual model of plane in use at the time, as far as I know.
Yeah.
I took a long look at a lot of planes myself. I asked people on Twitter. I got like 4 responses of planes it could be. None of them matched.
Yeah.
3 of them were American models and not German ones. And one person was like, yeah, I looked through all of my aircraft encyclopedias and didn't find a good match.
Okay.
So thank you to you all. I do appreciate it.
And when you brought that up, I actually was slightly surprised, because there's been just enough like stuff in these first 2 parts of JoJo where it's just like a lot of other shows probably would not have gone through the trouble of like, getting the insignia of the British Air Force and stuff like that. So it's like, it could be a real plane, maybe.
I mean, it fits the setting. It's not some unbelievable plane. It's just not quite right for a lot of the planes that it looks like.
So yeah, JoJo got into that plane and started that thing up real quick. And he's flying it at a pretty fucking steep angle. He
put Hamon into the twin propeller engines or something. I'm sure.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, as Cars is catching up to the cliff where he saw JoJo jump off, he almost gets run clean through by this plane. And so yeah, JoJo knows how to fly planes, I guess.
We know this, or at least we know he's had plane adventures before.
Yeah, he has had plane adventures, that's true.
After crashing that plane when he was 13 or whatever, he decided to learn how to fly planes.
Yeah. So yeah, this is JoJo's new plan. He's going to fight Cars with a German warplane. Pretty decent plan compared to what else he can do right now, I guess.
Use what you got, man. It's a lot bigger than clacker balls, which never are seen again. We're done with the clacker balls.
Yeah, wired Becks cut the wire on them and we're done with them.
The end.
So yeah, Speedwagon and Stroheim see the plane. JoJo flies the plane real low to the ground, like right above everybody, basically.
Speedwagon is showing that his biggest weakness is his confidence spiral.
Yes.
Every time something goes wrong, he just really starts catastrophizing, and that's not the mindset we need right now, Robert.
Real quick, my girlfriend has been reading through the manga of part 2, and there are actually a bunch of small scenes cut out from the anime I completely forgot about that we'll get into like when we actually do like the recap of part 2. But
I'm looking forward to that.
There is a shot where you just see something that Speedwagon signed, and he just writes his name, Rio Speedwagon. He doesn't write Robert. JoJo is just trying to kind of pull Cars away from everybody else with his plane and try to shoot him down.
Yeah, because he's got a big old nose gun in that plane of unidentified model.
Yeah.
But Cars has a plan for that. See, he turns a number of his big old bird feathers into armadillo plating scales that are covered in bullet deflecting oil. What animal has the power of bullet deflecting oil?
I don't know.
And never mind that, armadillos are already bulletproof. Is that how the armadillos do it? Do they have the bullet deflecting oil?
Is there oil on them? I don't know, man. Hey Google, do armadillos have bullet deflecting oil on them?
So not only does Cars grow these plates, but he flings them as projectiles to intercept the bullets before they even reach him, harmlessly. You'll have to try better than a big gun to stop the ultimate being.
He's shooting these armadillo shell bullet things with enough accuracy that they're flying into the cockpit JoJo is in. They're not hitting him, they're missing him, but they're like embedding themselves into the inside of the plane and in the cockpit and all that. And JoJo almost crashes. He has to pull up real hard. At this point, now that the gun is just doing fucking nothing, he is just trying to buy time to figure out what else to do. But Cars can fly super fucking fast. He does like he does like a very video game ass just like boost move to catch up to the plane.
Now, see, this is the reason I wanted to find the model of plane, because this is going to be an air chase that moves quite a distance. So I wanted to be able to estimate more accurately the speed at which they're going, and therefore the amount of time that we just skip over between one bit of action to the next. I can't do that, only in vague generalities. It's a reasonably fast plane that crewed probably 4 to 6 people.
Yeah. I think JoJo says he's flying at like 240 kilometers an hour or something like that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that sounds right.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, there is a shot where he's just looking at the dashboard and you see the speed. But yeah, JoJo is he's getting his headset on. He's trying to figure out just how long he can drag this out for before he has to do something else, and he's only got like 2 hours of gas left in the tank. They've got a Speedwagon Foundation radio with them. It's got a logo on it and everything. So they're able to radio in and contact JoJo to try and formulate a plan. And before Speedwagon can like suggest really anything, he's just like, hey, what's your position? And JoJo is pulling out a map and looking at it and goes, aha, found something good on this map.
Yeah, he finds something approximately 4.5 hours of flight time away at 240 kilometers an hour.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm starting to think this magic sun punching show isn't entirely accurate.
Wait a minute. But yeah, JoJo's got an idea from looking at this map, and Speedwagon is freaking out, saying like, please don't do anything rash.
We'll just run and hide. The Speedwagon Foundation already has made a series of bunkers worldwide. We've ranked all known humans by their usefulness in the future as mole people. It's fine, JoJo. You don't have to do this.
This does seem like a thing where, like, if you spend any significant amount of time with Speedwagon when there isn't a crisis for him to lose his mind over, you would just slowly, begin to learn that more and more the things he's investing his money into are just insane harebrained ideas about the end of the world.
Speedwagon is measuring everybody's skull and entering them into actuarial tables. How many children do you think you could have? And would you be okay with putting all of them in cryogenic freezing?
Speedwagon seems like the dude who was totally into the idea of freezing Walt Disney's head.
Yeah.
Like, if that rumor didn't start with him, if that wasn't an idea that he pitched to Walt Disney, like...
So JoJo is pretty confident that he can outrun cars because he has greater horsepower, which is a wild assumption. I don't know how many horses cars can be.
Yeah, like...
But I do know all of the horses he could become have the strength of at least 2 horses.
Yeah. JoJo reveals his plan, saying like, okay, Cars is the ultimate being. Nothing we can do can kill him, but maybe the planet Earth can. Because he has spotted a volcano.
Yes.
He is going to fucking drive Cars into the volcano. That is his plan.
A young J.R.R. Tolkien is watching from the shores, thinking, interesting. I mean, not that young. He fought in World War I. Whatever. It's fine.
Yeah, sure. Whatever. Younger.
So yeah, JoJo's entire heroic history has been bookended with plane crashes.
Yes.
It's like poetry. It rhymes.
I was thinking that exactly while watching this.
But yeah, we're going to Isla del Volcano, which is real. There is an actual island named Volcano.
Yep.
It looks very strange when he unrolls the map and there's just an island marked Volcano. No, that's what the map would say. That's its name.
Yep.
Speedwagon is begging with JoJo over the radio. Don't do it. You have so much to live for. Don't be like your grandfather. Like, oh, what are you gonna do to Cars, huh? Speedwagon, what's your plan? You gonna pay him to die? What are you gonna do? I don't see any hammers around here.
As Speedwagon is telling JoJo about this, and the radio is starting to break up a bit, because so Speedwagon tries to tell JoJo over the radio that Lisa is his mother, and he's saying that, like, it gets all choppy.
Yeah, even he's breaking the promise. Oh,
yeah. And before anything else can be said, suddenly JoJo's getting bitten on the shoulder by a piranha.
I can think of a lot of ways for a Luftwaffe plane to be filled with piranhas, but I don't like any of them. They all seem bad.
So now there's dozens of piranhas leaping around the cockpit trying to bite him. The feathers that Cars shot have morphed again into piranhas.
Joseph Joestar, you can defeat Wamu, but can you fight the entire creepy zoo? How will you overcome Violent the Crow, Death the Gorilla, and Ouch Causer the Otter? Terror the Turtle is coming for you, slowly.
If this wasn't just like the finale to part 2 and this were like a longer thing where you had to deal with Cars' powers, like you could absolutely just generate an entire like set of lower level guys JoJo has to fight that are just angry animals.
It would be great to have like episode 15, Cars makes, an evil turtle out of his pinky. Episode 22, out of nowhere, Turtle stabs JoJo.
Oh my god. Yeah, that'd be rad. Very in line with what the show does. So, piranhas are chewing through parts of the plains. Some of them are burrowing through the holes. Some of them are starting to eat. They're starting to chew through JoJo's parachute. JoJo picks up one of the piranhas and throws them across the room and shouts, "You devilfish!"
But the plane's going down.
Yeah.
There's no way around it.
Right. So the reason why the plane is starting to descend now is because some of the armadillo shells embedded on the plane, the outside, have turned into gigantic tentacles that just wrap around one of the propellers to keep it from spinning and then causing the engine to explode.
Yes!
Like JoJo just looks out the window and says, "Oh, this is bad." And then there's just tentacles wrapping up around the propeller.
So a parachuted figure falls out of the back, and Cars thinks, aha, now I have him. JoJo is stranded by the physics of parachutes.
Yeah. He basically straight up says that.
There is no escape now, Joseph. And so he Peregrine Falcon dives in with his 3 very stylish long feathers coming out of the forehead. He's going for a look. It works.
Yeah.
And he zooms in and finds it is a stuffed decoy with a cheeky little face.
JoJo had time to draw a mocking little face on it made out of Japanese characters. It's good.
So JoJo is still on this crashing plane headed down. The only other parachute has been chewed apart by piranhas. Realizing that it was a decoy somehow from across the entire length of Italy, Speedwagon and Smokey scream in unison.
Yeah.
The Isla del Vulcano is right at the tip of the boot, so to speak. It is between mainland Italy and the island of Sicily.
Right.
While the peak of the Swiss Alps that they just left is barely on the Swiss side of the border with Italy. Again, this is a 5-hour-ish flight at the speed quoted on the speedometer.
So I don't know. I guess what happens is, because JoJo throws out the decoy that is trailing behind the plane. Cars zooms in on that. He's been tricked as a decoy. And now the plane is behind Cars.
He just did a little donut, yeah.
He did a little donut, yeah. Yeah, JoJo says, like, us Joestars don't go down without a fight. And he just plows the plane into Cars, and there's like spiky, torn up metal bits from damage on the front of the plane that impale straight through Cars. It's now he's still alive, and he's just annoyed. He calls JoJo a lunatic for this move. But he's having a hard time getting off the plane because of the force of the speeding plane, also just being impaled on the plane.
But he will manage it because he is so strong and powerful and immortal, invulnerable. Except, wouldn't you know it? But hand launching is the hottest trend of 1939. Everybody's doing it. There is a cyborg arm that grabs Cars by the neck and pinches him against the nose of the plane.
The fingers like get embedded into his neck like 2 knuckles deep.
Dio style.
Like Dio style, yeah. And also while this is happening, JoJo's like thinking to himself like about all of his family members and how he couldn't manage to end it any differently than the previous like 3 Joestars have.
The longest lived Joestar is George the First, and he fucking sucks.
yeah. He sucks. But yeah, cyborg hand in Cars' neck.
So wouldn't you know it, Stroheim has been clinging to the like pontoon floaty landing gear because this is an aquatic plane. This is a land and sea use plane.
Yeah, I love that Stroheim has rocket piece as a move.
Yes.
And JoJo even asks Stroheim, like, when did you have the time to get into the plane? And Stroheim doesn't really answer that at all. Like, I guess the answer is, earlier when you see JoJo fly real low above Speedwagon and everybody else, there's a big cloud of dust, and in the next shot, because Stroheim was right next to Speedwagon, he's just gone.
Yeah.
So he hopped on the plane during that.
He used his rocket feet so he could use his rocket punch.
Yeah. But Stroheim yells to JoJo, as they are rapidly descending into a volcano.
Yes, boiling
JoJo,
lava right below them.
Stroheim just shouts to JoJo, when I give the signal, jump out of the plane. So, yeah, basically you just see the plane crash into the volcano. Lava is flying everywhere. Speedwagon is screaming into the radio, saying, like, JoJo, just say anything. Tell us a bad joke. Just tell us you're alive. And we see both JoJo and Stroheim just flying in the air. They both jumped off the plane. And JoJo falls into the arms of Stroheim. Stroheim sticks his legs out in slow motion to break their fall, and there's this great slow-mo shot of Stroheim's cyborg legs just getting fucking annihilated from falling hundreds of feet into a volcano.
Twisting and tearing apart. Once again, he is merely a torso with a big hole in the guts. Yeah. And only one hand.
And JoJo compliments the Nazis, saying, like, damn, that was pretty brave, actually. Mm-hmm. They both wondered, like, oh, did we get cars? Did we get them? And they look towards the lava, and it erupts a little bit. And Cars is, he says, I'm still alive, while all of his skin is boiling and melting and sliding off of his body. And
are you sure you're still alive, buddy? Because you don't look great. You look real bad.
The end of episode 25 is the camera zooming out real fast, and Cars, all fucked up, just waist up up to his waist in lava, melting, and he goes, "Wah!" The subtitles on Netflix say, "Worms." He is not shouting worms. He's going, "Wah!" because he's melting from being in a fucking volcano. But
I love subtitles and closed captioning that's clearly wrong. I love times when it says, like, inaudible, when it's clearly somebody in an accent saying, "Get over here," or something.
Yeah. What kills me is when there's people saying something in a foreign language, like fucking just saying something really basic in Spanish. That, like, if you even, like, learned only a little bit of Spanish in, like, first grade or something, you would probably understand what the fuck they're saying, and it's always just foreign language. And it's like, fuck. Literally all they said was, like, hola or something. Like, fuck this fucking... God. Anyways, the end of episode 25 is Cars melting in a volcano.
So that's the end of episode 25. We're riding high, like just so much action, so much excitement, but we need to cut the tension. It's too much excitement. We can't handle it. We've got to slam on the brakes for a little context first. At the beginning of episode 26, the Ascendant one.
The narrator gives us a little history lesson on the origins of the Pillar Men. Mm-hmm. The Pillar Men, they were a whole race of, like, precursor humans who were all allergic to the sun. They were all basically vampire people. Mm-hmm. They had a thriving society. Oh, actually, you know what? Going through my notes, there's a little bit before we learn that stuff. Yeah.
Like, this initial thing is just a very quick description, and then we get the full flashback scene.
The volcano's exploding. Cars is fucking melting. He's trying to survive by creating some type of armor to protect him from the intense heat.
You know how crabs are lava proof? He's trying to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, he tries to make, like, crab shell or clam based armor.
You are naming creatures that aren't immune to boiling. What in water?
And so, he tries that, and it works for, like, a split second, and then he immediately bursts into flames again, and he starts screaming, and JoJo shouts, "You dummy, that's lava."
It's
hot.
1,000 degrees in there.
It's really hot.
It's closer to 1250 Celsius, because, JoJo uses metric after all. But, 1,000 degrees sounds better as a boast,
Yeah.
So he walks away victorious, confident. He's carrying Stroheim by his bent arm like it's a luggage strap.
Yeah.
This is my new Nazi bag.
Cars has fallen underneath the surface. He seems super dead. And yeah, while carrying Stroheim, they're like, this volcano seems like it's gonna like erupt again. Maybe let's leave.
Mm-hmm.
And suddenly, a big crack in the rock starts growing and trailing and following behind JoJo, who is just calmly walking out of the volcano now.
Mm-hmm.
And a really quick burst of air or slice flies out from this crack, and JoJo's left arm from the elbow down gets sliced clean off.
Throwing arms is the hottest trend of 1939. I told you,
Yep.
Everybody's doing it. So yes, Cars has survived, and we have to get an explanation of how Cars has survived. And the thing is, the dude with all the animal powers and also the light powers, he has air bubble powers too. Mm-hmm. Cars got a little confused with Wamu, I guess, because he has little air jetties that pop out, and he pumped out air to surround himself, which hardened the lava around him into a rock shell. And so as the rock got melted away by the lava further out, he just kept replenishing it with more and more air bubble.
Yeah.
To be completely ensconced in his sarcophagus of stone armor.
Yeah. Out of the random bullshit things the narrator explains, for some reason I'm cool with this one. I kind of like this one for some reason.
So he used that envelope of stone armor in order to tunnel out and, burst up from beneath JoJo's feet and slice off his arm with his own arm blades, his brilliant bone blade.
Yeah. And the narrator says, horror of horrors, Cars, a creature of the earth, has conquered the planet itself. Nothing can kill him, not even volcanoes.
They keep bringing up this creature of the earth thing as if that matters. He is no more like a creature of the earth than any other living thing.
Yeah.
They really are trying to do the, like, put the One Ring in the fires that forged it, but, like, there are other fires. That's why it's important. There's no other planets.
Yeah.
You don't have to bring him back to Earth. He's there.
Yeah. And this is where we get the actual history lesson of the Pillar Men.
Yes.
Yeah,
There used to be a full society of Pillar Men. Pillar Men weren't as we knew them. They were stronger and more powerful, and they fed on the beasts of the land, but they weren't supercharged like Cars and Wamu and AC/DC and even Santana. They just seemed like chill, and they lived in underground societies, and the regular people above the land who could stand the sun worshiped them as gods. And hold up now. Are we talking like Nephilim? Are these the Anunnaki and shit? Did Santana build the pyramids? I don't need no George Tsoukalos shit in my JoJo's. JoJo Tsoukalos' bizarre explanation. I don't want that.
Oh, no. Yeah, thankfully the show doesn't go that route with that. But so Cars was basically just a mad scientist.
Yeah. He was a heretic of the Pillar people.
Yeah, he wanted to become even more powerful. He made the stone mask, which, pierced his skull originally and gave him the powers we've seen him with for most of the show.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And so all of the other basic Pillar people decided that is fucked up, and you shouldn't do that. They wanted to destroy him and cast him out for his heresy, because they're chill. They live in a harmony with the people of above, and they just suck a deer dry every few months like an alligator or whatever. And it's super chill down here. But no, he will conquer the sun. And his Asia-less stone mask didn't quite do that, but it gave him the power to slaughter his entire species.
Yep. He completely eradicates this race of people except for his friends Wamu and AC/DC and a single baby they stole, which was Santana.
No. He takes one friend and two babies.
Oh, right, two babies. That's right.
And we only see them from behind, so I think he took AC/DC and Santana and Wamu were the babies, because that explains their ranking?
Yeah, Santana and Wamu are the babies. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I think that's nice because it explains why Cars was so extra upset about the death of Wamu because, like, oh, he raised him from a baby.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you get how callous he is. Like, oh, Santana, fuck that guy. He sucks. I also raised him from a baby, but he's whatever. I don't care if
We
you kill
stuck him in a completely different country from us.
It's a very have your pathos and eat it too thing, you know?
Yeah, totally. And yeah, that whole thing was 10,000 years ago when
Yes.
he slaughtered his race. Yeah, I like the backstory there. It's simple enough, but it does add something extra there that I like. So back to the present now. Stroheim, just a torso with one hand, is freaking out because he can't do shit now. And Cars is just having a grand old time during this part.
JoJo is, of course, screaming in pain. Wouldn't you?
Yeah.
But he psychs himself up to bring the pain, you know. Cars may have survived the lava, but he's clearly worse for wear. And JoJo has to do everything he can to try to end this. So it's overdrive time, baby. Let's Hamon this shit up.
Yep. And he goes in for a Hamon overdrive with like his knee with a kick. Cars is completely unfazed by this. Like he's just like, oh, did you say Hamon? And then he intercepts JoJo's knee with his elbow. And Cars himself uses a Hamon overdrive on JoJo's knee.
Yes, he does. And it backfires on JoJo, and he starts melting like a pillar man.
Yeah, his knee is the flesh on his knee is just liquefying and just melting, and it's gross.
So far in this encounter, we've had a furry little woodland creature go feral and kill a bunch of dudes, tearing their necks out. JoJo is continuing to fight, losing limb after limb, insisting that he is still a threat. If somebody asks about the flight speed of a sparrow or some shit, I'm out. I am gone. No, thank you.
Yeah.
But the idea that Cars is a Hamon master does make sense if we remember that, like, one of the things Hamon is sun juice.
Yeah, it's sun juice.
And Cars, after having the mask with the stone in it, has declared himself, master of the sun. So he has the sun juice. He's a Hamon user too.
Yeah. And also because Cars has become so insanely powerful, his Hamon is also, like, he claims, hundreds of times more powerful than JoJo's Hamon. Which is why, even normal people are melting like they're zombies when they get hit by this.
So Cars is gloating. He's trying to be sassy. He isn't very good at sassy, but his confidence takes him over the line as he readies his final strike. But JoJo sees the Super Asia, lifts it to intercept, and as the narrator describes, even he had no idea why he did that.
Yes. It is just like by instinct, JoJo just holds up the Super Asia and intercepts Cars's killing blow with it.
Like we've gone from playing like tabletop Fate with your friends. JoJo is now save scumming like a Sierra adventure, just like use Super Asia on Hamon strike. It works. Okay. Oh, thank God.
Yeah, I like this part because they milk the scene just long enough to make you think, how the fuck can JoJo get out of this one? Because the narrator is just talking about like what JoJo, like how JoJo's thinking to himself, like he's not scared to die or anything. He has resigned himself to death. He tried everything he could, and all this shit. And the Netflix version edits out the commercial break here. The original edit has a commercial break right as Cars' hand is about to hit the Super Asia, where the music crescendos. It's really good. It's like a tiny cliffhanger.
Oh, that's very good. That's very good.
So the music that's playing through a lot of the segments, these final two episodes where Cars is, killing people with hand squirrels or is about to kill JoJo, the music that plays here is a combination of orchestral music and dubstep.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
And in fact, the music throughout part 2 has been different from part 1. Part 1 has basically mostly just been orchestral with like a little bit of electronic stuff, and there's a lot of dubstep in part 2.
So as this Hamon strike comes down to finish off JoJo, but instead strikes the Super Asia instead, it fires an incredible super laser past JoJo's shoulder into the ground below, into the caldera of magma even further below, and the volcano fucking explodes. Stroheim has died yet again. He's going to die every way a man can die.
The instant this happens, like the narrator, is talking about how JoJo's body just leapt into an action to try to save himself. The theme song from part 1 kicks in here.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, it kicks ass.
It's one of my favorite like action anime tropes is when the theme song kicks in for the big triumphant moment. You know what show does it really well? Gundam Build Fighters, actually.
Really? Build Fighters, huh?
I would recommend that show to anybody who likes middle schooler friend adventure animes or sports shows or any of your various Yu-Gi-Ohs. It's a really good show in that vein, in that genre.
So you might check that out, because I do like shows in that format when they are done right.
And it's another example of somebody's arm coming off at just the right moment, actually.
Yeah, oh, really? Build Fighters?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Well, I mean, it's a robot arm, but yeah.
Okay, sure. So, yeah, the laser fired off from the Super Asia, passing, like, the huge amount of hormone that struck it. Yeah, it makes the volcano erupt. The section of ground that JoJo and the cars are on gets fucking launched into the air by the eruption.
Yes.
It's separated just in a way that Stroheim doesn't catch the ride too. He just gets blasted away and then goes, "Oh my God, they exploded into the air."
It's like this circular chunk, this flying island.
Yes.
It's like twice the diameter of a sumo circle.
And so, yeah, both JoJo and Cars are just taking a ride on this fucking chunk of rock, getting launched hundreds and thousands of feet into the air. Mm-hmm. And JoJo can't really do much because, the G-forces.
Yeah, they're just pressing him down.
Yeah. Cars is just like, do you think a little eruption will be enough to conquer the likes of me? And he just stands up, grows bird wings, and he's about to just fuck off and fly away. And, hey, talking about flying arms saving the day, another flying arm saves the day. The eruption launched JoJo's severed arm up as well, and it goes flying and embeds right into Cars' throat.
Arms were made to be launched. They're so aerodynamic, honestly.
Yeah. Cars is, like, briefly just, like, in shock that this arm just flew into his fucking throat.
Mm-hmm. The initial shock of the G-forces subsides. The acceleration has slowed enough for JoJo to stand up and puff out his chest, just prideful and triumphant, and it's so fucking good.
Yeah. All the things he does here to actually defeat Cars in this last bit own, because it's not hormone related or fucking anything. It's just JoJo's just doing what JoJo does.
Yes.
Because he points at Cars when he's shocked from the arm being lodged in his throat, points at him.
One last prediction of what he's going to say.
He says, "Let me guess. You're going to say, 'Did you plan this too, JoJo?'" And Cars is just like shocked, looks over at JoJo and says, and he doesn't say that. He just says, "How do you always know?"
And then he says it.
Yeah. And
he leveled up his technique.
Yeah. And so Cars is distracted for a split second by the Bugs Bunny shit that JoJo is doing, and a whole bunch of smaller bits of rock that were launched up by the volcano just fucking nail Cars in like 12 different spots of his body, and they launch him harder and faster up into the air.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. He has reached escape velocity, which, as a reminder, is over 11 kilometers per second.
Yeah. And yeah, Cars is still shouting like, did you plan this too, JoJo? And yeah, JoJo, this is where he puffs his chest out and says like, this is a really good shot of him saying like, "Oh, this was all a trap that I set up and you walked right into it." And he pumps his fist into the air, and as he does that, it looks like he has commanded more rocks from the volcano to fly up and nail Cars in the face. Mm-hmm. And JoJo just thinks to himself, "Fuck, dude, I just got lucky, but saying all this is going to piss him off really bad." Thinking I outsmarted him will drive him insane.
With his 400 IQ.
Yeah.
I don't know when he had time to take a test. We've seen him the entire time he's been a Super Bang, but there you go.
Yeah.
Somewhere in this, we get a cutaway shot to Stroheim, who has survived yet another explosion. That is his superpower.
Not only has he survived that explosion, he has made it all the way out of the volcano, and he's like not even at the base of the volcano anymore. He's just like on the island nearby.
I'm sure the explosion helped with that.
Yeah, but also he's got to have like a little jetpack in his torso or something to cover that distance. I don't know.
Speaking of jetpacks,
yeah,
Kars has left the gravitational pull of Earth. He's being expelled out beyond a stable orbit, drifting off into space. But he has verniers. This is a mecha show now. That's the rules.
yeah.
His air powers return to try to push him back forward to fall back toward Earth. But as soon as they start puffing, they freeze over. Anything coming out of the jets at all is what matters to Newton, okay? His plan should work, but it's fine. I guess he was going that much faster that deceleration wasn't enough to overcome.
Yeah. His air jets coming out of his back start to freeze over. His whole body starts to freeze. He's basically just trying to do anything. He's just flailing at this point. He pulls out his arm blades. He starts growing bird wings out of his back to try to move, and everything just starts freezing. And he cannot change his trajectory, his path at all. He just keeps flying further and further.
We get the narrator busting in to tell us that, he is unkillable. He cannot be killed, but he will just drift frozen dormant forever till the end of time, just loose in space.
Yeah, like you see Kars has like formed different defenses on his body while he's in space here. So he's just turned into like a big rock with his arms wrapped around him. And then Kars suffers ego death. He is just floating in space forever and can't fucking die. And like even the narrator says, like at a certain point, like Kars wishes for death, but he can't do shit. And soon even the spark of thought within him just vanishes. He just chooses to stop thinking because he can't fucking die. He
launched in daytime, so there is a reasonable chance he will eventually fall into the sun.
Yes, yeah.
That could take centuries, anything could happen.
But this is still one of my favorite like ends to a JoJo villain. Because he's just like, you can watch every like future JoJo part and think Kars still exists in this show. He's just fucking somewhere in space. Just fucked forever. It's so good.
Maybe I should hold this for next week, but it does make me think that none of our big enemies have died. They've just been put in an unreachable stasis.
Okay. Yeah, as Kars is now just drifting through space, we see the rock that JoJo is on is now, falling back to Earth, and JoJo just lays down and closes his eyes and thinks of all of his loved ones, and also Stroheim, I think. And just says, sorry, I couldn't do this and also come back to you.
He tried real fucking hard. He did his best, that boy.
He tried real fucking hard, but this rock JoJo's on falls to the earth, and you see on screen text coming up saying, on February 28th, 1939, Joseph Joestar dies on the island volcano.
So JoJo is being buried in New York. Why is JoJo being buried in New York? He visited one time.
Maybe he was going to move. I don't know.
Okay, one time minimum, but still.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
They wanted everybody to be there, and Smokey's the only one who couldn't get a visa? That might be the case.
Maybe, you know what? Maybe. Yeah, we do get a confirmation. I think they said it like at the start of part 2, but yeah, you do see his tombstone. You see that, he was born 1920, so he's 19 years old. Yeah, and so Lisa and Messina and Granny Arena, Speedwagon, Smokey, they're all there at JoJo's funeral here. And as they're all mourning and some other people are starting to walk away, we see a car in the background pull up and somebody gets out.
Before that, though, we got to talk about Smokey saying a few words.
Oh, right.
Specifically that he and JoJo had been friends for 6 months.
Yes.
Excuse you?
6 months.
Where did those 6 months fit?
I can only imagine those 6 months with Smokey counting all the times JoJo was off in Italy.
Yeah, like, okay.
Just total time since you've met him? Okay.
This funeral is in April, so we're going to give him those two. So we really only have to fit 4 months. But Smokey meets JoJo. JoJo takes a motorcycle adventure to Mexico. Those are in the same day.
Yes. Yeah.
JoJo meets Caesar, then gets 2 wedding rings of death implanted inside him that give him at most 33 days between then and his death in Isla del Volcano. So that means that means when Stroheim gave JoJo the dire warning to become a greater Hamon master and nip the problem of the 3 remaining pillar men in the bud as quick as possible. Time is of the essence. All those extra months fit between that and actually doing it.
He had to hang out with Smokey.
How? Yeah, he was just hanging out with Smokey because I guess Speedwagon lost Caesar's address and had to go find it.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
While he was so busy, like, shooting Santana's rocks with sun lamps in a basement somewhere. By the way, Santana is still also kind of alive.
Kind of, sort of, yeah. He's just under UV lamps. He could come back.
He's eaten snakes once in a while.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of dawdling that we just skipped over, thankfully. Yeah. But I'm glad it gave those two time to be best friends.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, after Smokey says some words, we're looking at Granny Arena, who is wiping away tears, and we see somebody walking up slowly behind her. This person puts their hands over Rena's eyes and goes like, peekaboo, guess who? It's Joseph. Mm-hmm. He's alive. He has come to this funeral, and Joseph is just going like, damn, whose funeral is this?
And the best part is he's not kidding. He doesn't know he's doing a Tom Sawyer.
Yeah. Like he is saying all this stuff and everyone like is speechless. They're just all stunned that Joseph is here, just fucking alive.
Like there are some like security toughs at this graveside service who are about to throw him out because he's being a disruptive asshole at like this moment of mourning.
Yeah.
Until they're like, no, he's the dead guy. It's okay. He's alive.
Yeah. Well, Joseph is first talking here. We see he's got a new hand. He actually got a robot hand from Stroheim.
He complains that he doesn't have all the latest doodads. Like, oh yeah, Stroheim's too busy turning my home into a crater to give me a bottle opener attachment. Funny how that goes.
He there is a part here where he talks about like, well, I guess I'm not going to be able to get any more robot hand stuff considering that we're fighting the Germans now. Oh well. He's
so flippant about it. But at the same time, this scene is in April and war between the UK and Germany wasn't declared until September 1939. So maybe Joseph Joestar is secretly Czech.
Wait a minute. Whoa.
What if?
What if?
He's actually from Prague. The accent is a fake.
There's a shot here where everybody finally, can actually get some words together, and they all just shout, "You're telling me JoJo's alive," all at once while JoJo does a pose and points at the camera.
Hell yeah, he is. So Susie Q comes forward with some heavy hip sway. She is, I don't know what she's doing or who she's doing it for, but she's doing it.
There's a funny shot of JoJo like, damn, who's this funeral for? Then he looks at the tombstone that's got his name on it, and he just like vibrates on the screen. He doesn't like, he's not animated to have like body language. It's just like his just whole illustration just jiggles on the screen when he gets shocked. It's pretty funny. Yeah. Susie Q is here. They got hitched.
They did. And now it is time to learn the rest of the story. JoJo somehow survived crashing down. I guess the giant island that got blasted with him broke his fall.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
He was in a bad way, but Susie Q nursed him back to health over a few weeks. None of you got phones? We know Air Supply Island is in the postal network. It was kind of an important thing.
Yeah, like JoJo asks Susie Q, like, hey, I told you to like send them like a fax or a letter or whatever. Did you just not send that? Like, there's a whole telegram and everything. And then Susie Q is a dope, so she's just like, oh, I don't know. I guess not. Guess didn't tell your family you're alive.
So they go have a big comic shouting fight back at the car.
Yes. JoJo gets the clicky fingers.
Yeah. She doesn't like it when he does the clicky fingers.
He's like in this shot, like towering over her, and he's like upset, and he's just like wiggling his robot hands, and they get all clicky. And she literally just says, "Now, let's not get all clicky fingers."
You know how Gilda Radner and Gene Wilder were married and fabulously happy for like 3 months?
Yes.
That is how I see this relationship going.
Yeah, absolutely, because they've only known each other for like not that long, and like the instant JoJo is nursed back up to health by Susie Q for 2 weeks, and they get married like during that. Like they are absolutely
when he couldn't run away.
Yeah, these are absolutely people who
his special move.
These are people who date for 2 months and then go like, you know what? Let's get married at Vegas. Like they are those people.
Tom Baker and Lala Ward. There can be wonderful, very happy marriages that last less than a year. It's okay.
Yep. And so, you know, as JoJo and Susie Q are having like their goofy little argument by their car, it is time to learn what happens to all the characters.
JoJo finds out that his mother is Elizabeth, aka Lisa.
Yep.
They all sail to New York, and it looks like as JoJo looks at the Statue of Liberty, he just looks like he fell asleep standing up, and he's drooling.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know what to take from that.
Yeah, I don't know, but so yeah, they all moved to America together. In 1948, Lisa gets married again to a Hollywood screenwriter.
I assume that will be the plot of Mank 2 coming soon to Netflix.
Hell yeah. Granny Arena Joestar. So I forget if they even mention it before this point, but she's a teacher.
Yeah. Yes. I don't know if it was mentioned before either.
Yeah, I think this is the first time they actually mention it, but
it seems right? It feels right.
It feels right. But yeah, she continues being a teacher. We get a shot here now in 1950, where Granny Arena has passed away, just like in bed at her home. She at the age of 81,
surrounded by all of her friends. 1950 Smokey is huge,
dude. Smokey gets big. He's just a big dude.
And you can see in like the pictures on the mantelpiece and also gathered around, JoJo and Susie Q have had a little girl. Aww.
Yep. They've had a daughter.
Yeah.
I also appreciate the detail that when you're seeing Granny Arena, you know, like pass away on her bed peacefully, you can see a bunch of picture frames that have photos of Jonathan and Arena when they were young, like a picture they took on the boat or whatever. Mm-hmm. It's very good. And also a picture of Lisa and George Joestar II.
Arena and Jonathan, another very happy marriage that didn't last very long. It's okay.
Yeah. Yep. Due to vampires that time, but you know.
I don't judge.
Yeah.
So the next person we get our Where Are They Now update. It's like the end of Fast Times at Ridgemont High for some reason.
It's totally what it is, yeah.
Yeah. Is Robert E.O. Speedwagon, who, you know, continued to do wonderful philanthropy for the world, and he also passed away peacefully, a lifelong bachelor. Yeah, okay, we know what that means. Like, come on. There is something very Revolver Ocelot about Speedwagon.
Yeah, there is, isn't there?
He is a completely undying and very romantic love for a man he met in his youth that was so strong he is deeply tied in the life of that man's grandson.
Yes, yeah.
Absolutely devoted to the family.
And like so many of the things he does and like a lot of the purpose in his life is doing things for that grandson. Oh boy. So yeah, he dies in 1952 of a heart attack. He lived to 89. Mm-hmm. That's a good run for Speedwagon.
Yeah, you earned it, buddy. Smokey grew up, majored in political science, and got elected the first black mayor in his city in Georgia. The wording makes me curious whether it's the first black mayor in that city or the first black mayor of any city in Georgia.
Yeah, I wonder about
which makes it harder to fact check.
Yeah, this is the point. Like, I brought it up in the very first episode when we started part 2. But yeah, this is where you actually learn Smokey's name is fucking Smokey Brown.
Smokey Brown.
Smokey Brown. Yep.
It's a name that I wouldn't bat an eye at if it were a blaxploitation movie.
Yeah.
Which is to say, if it were made by Black Americans for Black Americans.
Yes.
Outside of that context, like, you're really going to name a dude a skin color. That's what you're going to do? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Actually not cool. There are a lot of different last names you could come up with for your fake Smokey Robinson. Okay, there's a lot.
Totally. You could just make the last name another fucking music reference. Like, I don't know.
Smokey Supreme. Go for it.
Oh, man. Smokey Supreme.
Now that's a blaxploitation name, actually.
Yeah.
Just for the record, I want to say that political science degrees are not what you get if you want to go serve in office. If you want to be elected, you get a family inheritance, not a political science degree.
It's true. Yeah.
So yeah, now it's time for everybody's favorite character.
Stroheim the Nazi. What happened to him?
2 million people died in the Battle of Stalingrad, and one of them was Stroheim.
He fucking dies at the Battle of Stalingrad.
What kind of fucked up super weapons did the Soviets bring to bear to finally kill Stroheim?
Right? Because, like, in that shot, so they also clarify that, like, Stroheim and JoJo never saw each other again, ever, after that final battle with Cars and JoJo getting his robot arm. But in that shot where they're showing, like, Stroheim, like, saluting towards the camera and then going off to battle, he has new upgrades, and he has, like, 6 miniguns pop out of his fucking back that are on little robot arms. How did they kill him? He has laser eyes. He's got rocket piece fists. He can survive killer squirrel attacks. Like, he's invincible, right?
Look, the might of the Soviet military machine in World War II was unstoppable. It's greater than Cars, okay? Stalin could have killed Cars.
Oh, my God. I want to see that fight.
Millions of infantry would have died trying, but Stalin was okay with that.
Yep.
So yeah, the Battle of Stalingrad, the beginning of the end for Germany, so Stroheim continues to be bombastically useless and in poor taste.
Yes. Yep.
To the end.
To the end. And with that, the narrator talks, from then on, things were getting better, and time rolls on to a new generation, and now it's 1987.
It's 1987. We are seeing a new aged Joseph, with a new voice actor. I kind of hate when they do that.
Yeah.
But I get it. And he is getting on a plane and shows the world that he is okay with Nazis on an individual basis, but he hates all the Japanese.
He hates all the Japanese. Yeah, a Japanese guy in the airport, like, runs into Joseph's old man leg with some luggage. For a second, he's, like, willing to take this guy's apology, and he's like, wait a second, you Japanese? And then he's just like, fuck the Japanese! And he just kicks this dude in the leg real hard.
And then he gives his recent family history. You see, his daughter married a Japanese man, and they never visit, and he hardly gets to see his grandson. And, like, dude, this dude with a shattered kneecap does not care.
Yeah.
This does not help him.
Yeah, his daughter has moved away to Japan for 20 years now. So, yeah, Joseph is getting on a plane to finally go see his family that now lives over in Japan. And while he says, damn the Japanese, he does say, I do like the gadgets they make. And he fucking pulls out a Sony Walkman, puts in some earbuds, and starts the theme song from part 2 as the credits roll.
Yes. So the credits roll. We get to say a final farewell to all the incredible artists who made this happen.
It's got to be hard to visualize some of this shit, man, even when you've got manga to work with.
But that's not the end, because there is a post-credit scene teasing part 3. Now we are 4 years less in the future. It is 1983. Yeah.
Now in the Atlantic Ocean near the Canary Islands, and we've got some people on a boat salvaging some stuff. They're pulling this shit up.
They're dredging up treasure, and the treasure they get is, of course, Dio's impenetrable super chest. Bum, bum, bum. Which, last I recall, was being used as a lifeboat.
It was. Yeah.
I'm sure there's an explanation. I'm sure we'll get it either very soon or about a third of the way into part 2.
Yeah.
One or the other. But we get a cut to the man we've all been waiting for, Hat Guy.
Who's in jail.
Hat Guy is in jail. He's a bad man, that Hat Guy.
Yeah.
We've got a dangerous JoJo coming next. Oh, you got to watch out for Hat Guy.
our very first brief glimpse at the next JoJo. And that's the end of part 2.
That's it. That's part 2. So thank you all for joining us through this journey through 1930s North America and Europe, through exploring this pre-war time through a lens that is clearly inspired by post-war pulp. Mm-hmm. And now I'm curious to see what genres get thrown in the mix for a return to the writer's more familiar surroundings. It seems will be set in Japan, at least in part, and a much more familiar time. We're talking about something written 1990-ish, set in the late 80s. So that's going to be a very big change from these deep historical and pulp historical settings of part 1 and 2.
Yeah. I am extremely excited to start part 3 because it's... despite saying it a dozen times, this is where JoJo truly begins. We're going to get some big changes to what JoJo is, but somehow it's still the same. Part 3 is the most well-known part. Anytime there's like we just need to represent JoJo as a whole, okay, we're going to use the characters from part 3 because that's the one that is, just recognized by the most amount of people.
Because he's got a hat.
It's because he's got that hat, man.
Jonathan didn't have a hat. Joseph didn't have a hat. He borrowed a headband for a while.
Yeah, it's going to be very exciting to get into the first part that kind of informs a lot of the format of what the rest of JoJo is going to be like.
But before we get to that, of course, we're going to have another discussion episode with another guest coming at you next about Battle Tendency as a complete and now completed work. The singular bizarre adventure that belongs solely to Joseph Joestar. So look out for that coming soon. While you are looking for things to fill the time, I'm going to plug another thing. Why not?
Yeah, sure.
JoJo has run out of history, but I haven't. My wife and I make another show called History Honeys, where every other week or so, we take turns teaching each other about something in the past. The most recent one we put out at the time of recording is about the guy who claims he killed Rasputin, the interesting life he had aside from assassinating Grigory Rasputin, Russia's greatest love machine, and the connection to British intelligence that might explain how he actually died, rather than the unbelievable, supernatural, frankly, death story that is credited to that event.
Right. And of course, you've got your other podcast as well that is also almost equally as bizarre, I gotta say, from what I hear.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about that last week, so I don't want to oversaturate. But
right,
yes,
right.
I do love making Sex Archie. I do love talking about that show, and I think people who enjoy this show would get a kick out of that one in particular.
Yeah, and if somehow you're listening to this podcast and you found it via not the other things we do Let's Plays as well. That's
true. I mean, we've just been assuming anybody who found us is familiar with us from that, but that's not necessarily the case.
Yeah, so if you want to see those Let's Plays, we are Chip Cheesem LPs on YouTube, currently going through the Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Yep, you will find the entire Uncharted series, except for that DLC. We're going to do that eventually, I think.
Eventually, probably, yeah.
The entire Metal Gear Solid series, at least the numbered games and the main spin-offs. No Ghost Babel yet.
No Metal Gear Acid yet either. I don't know. Maybe someday.
And a lot of other fun and interesting games outside of a few franchises that we kept returning to.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see you next episode going over Battle Tendency, and then after that, getting into the part 3, Stardust Crusaders.
Oh man, I can't wait to see how irrelevant that name is. To be continued.
See ya, everybody.